Hey all, and welcome back to Fuzzy Gaming, and a new video on the channel, just going over some loot filters I've put together for League Start that will basically be helpful for anyone that's doing a attack elemental bow League Starter. So if you're doing a Deadeye Lightning Arrow, Roundava's Raider, something on Champion that uses bows, this filter should help you out with making sure you're picking up items that you need and helping identify 4 links, 3 links, and items that are going to be key to the build. So the first thing we'll cover off, just in case people haven't followed other people's loot filters before, is how to do that. So all you need to do is go to my profile, which there'll be a link in the video description. And then you'll go to item filters here. It may take you directly to the filters. And then all it gives you is a list of public filters that are on that account and ones that you can follow. So the ones that I've set up are bow leveling 322, bow early mapping 322, and then bow early mapping stricter 322. The names of these won't change because they are in other videos that I've released, so I don't want to change the names and confuse people. So at League Start, they will be ready for 323, but they will have these names. I'll put a link in the video description to my account and the exact names of the filters, but all you essentially do is go in and say, I want to see bow leveling, so I'm going to follow that. I want bow early mapping, so I'm going to follow that. And then you go down and follow the last one, which is bow early mapping stricter. And it will then follow all of those filters. What follow filters do is every time you log in, and the filter updates, it will go to my profile and pull that filter. So if I make changes to that filter, you will see those changes as well. So once you follow the filter, if it's a filter you always want to see, you don't have to do anything else. Every time you go into the game, it's going to pull the most updated version of that filter. So with that out of the way, we'll just go and give a quick overview of the filter and then we can close the video out. I don't want this to be a long one for no reason whatsoever. So we'll go into Act 2. So currency that I like to distinguish apart from others are whetstones and transmutes because they are super valuable early on. Whetstones will allow you to do the vendor recipe. Transmutes, some things might need to be magic to do a recipe. They can also be used on the crafting bench. You can't really ever have too many transmutes because you might use, I would say 12 to 16 with you crafting elemental damage and resistances on your gear. So these two items will have a sound associated with them. So we'll just turn the volume up so you can hear it. Apologies, this might be really loud. So yeah, the whetstones and the transmutes will have a sound associated to them and they are bright purple. I also want to pull out alchemies and chant swords because alchemies are super useful during that campaign for trying to upgrade your bow. So these again will make a noise and they'll be coloured very brightly so you know you have to pick them up. Chant swords are probably your main currency once you get to maps because they're going to be what you use to buy maps from Kirak. Again, you can never have too many. You can burn through 20 to 30 really, really quickly. In terms of links, we're in Acts 1 to 3. 3 links are going to show up. If they are the right colours, which will be green, 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 red, or potentially green, red, red, they're going to show up in the cyan colour. And again, they're going to make a noise, so you know you need to pick them up. Once you get into the later acts and you start getting access to 4 links, again, any 4 links that have colours that are going to be usable or are on suitable bases, you're going to get, again, a sound turn up and they're going to be distinguishable from other items. So they're going to be really easy to spot and hear. So if you go past something and it drops back of you away from screen, if it makes one of these noises, you know you should be going back to pick that item up. And that's kind of it for the leveling filter. So we'll go and run the mapping filter. As I say, there's 2. There is a early mapping filter that I would recommend putting on around Act 9 once you're geared and ready for maps. And then once you no longer really need to keep up your supply of chant orbs and alchemies, you go to the stricter filter. The stricter filter removes every single rare, and it also removes lower value currency that you can maybe buy 7 to 8 for 1 chaos. So we'll go to the hideout, and then we'll just stick a map in very quickly, showcase these 2 filters, and then we'll close out the video. So these filters here are going to highlight bases that you want to craft on. The main problem for me when I get to maps, if I don't have my own filter, is I'm hiding a lot of bases that I want to use essences on. And it might take me 3 or 4 maps before I find one because it drops rare, or I have to go and buy a base from someone for like 1 to 2 chaos. So we'll just get any map because we're just going to throw stuff on the floor anyway. So this filter is going to show T1 evasion bases. The body armor, gloves, helmet, and boots, along with some armor and evasion bases if that's what you wanted to run. It's going to show a gate amulets, heavy belts, amethyst rings, and 2 stone rings. And it's also going to show spine bows. So when you drop one of these items that isn't rare, it's going to show. It's not going to show magic, and it's not going to show rare in this format because rares will be like T1 rares will show anyway. It's going to just drop black with the cyan color and have a very simple sound. So you know that anything that drops with this border is a crafting base. You don't need to hoard them, but basically you want to pick, I would say, a couple of them up and have them in your stash so that you can craft. And then if you need to pick up more, you'll see, I would say 1 to 2 of these each map. It's just the fact that most filters will hide them. So again, we'll drop the pig face bassinet and the slink boots onto the ground. So you can see it highlights those items. That's really all there is to it. With the symbol filter, it's going to show stuff like single chance orbs and single alchemy orbs. So the strict filter, when it's finished, is going to hide things like these. At the moment, it doesn't because I'm not finished with the filter, but it will be done by League Start. But they're just some simple bow filters that are going to be better than your average filter. So we'll just quickly go over the color scheme for the currency. It's basically done in 4 tiers. Anything that's under a chaos or minimal value but might be useful early on will be in black. Anything that's a chaos-ish in value is going to be yellow. As you can see, if they drop in stacks that puts the value up, they're then going to upgrade to a purple tier. And then Divine Orb and Reliquary Keys and very, very expensive things like that are going to be the usual swing sound with the white and the red. I like it this way because I find some filters, all the colors are very similar when it comes to like maybe Chaos Orbs, Regrets, Alchemies. And I sometimes find it that I spend too long either looking at things that I should pick up or picking up too much stuff that I shouldn't. So this way I know if I'm looking for a certain map supply provision like Orbs of Horizons, then I might need to check the black items that drop. If I don't need anything like Alks, Chances, Blacksmith's Whetstones, I don't need to even check those items. I can leave them on the ground or I could even hide them. I just know that if something turns up and it's yellow, purple, or swingy white and orange, then I'm picking it up because it's going to be valuable to either me or to trade. That's kind of it for the video. Any questions, feel free to leave them in the video description. I will tweak these as I go along the league. So if, for example, things become less valuable, I drop them from the filter. So at the moment, this filter was last used at the end of the league, and things like Regrets, Val Orbs, all those kind of things were worth a chaos. If a week into the league, Val Orbs are worth 0.2 chaos and you need 5 to get a chaos, and Regrets are 4 for a chaos, they're probably not going to be. But if they go to the point where they're below half a C, I'll drop them from my loot filter because I just don't feel it's efficient to pick them up. So you can safely use this filter knowing that it's going to basically give you the gear that you need and the currency that you need. So the early mapping filter, the standard one, will not change because that needs to show everything. But the strict one, I will tweak as the league goes on if I see things turn up that just aren't valuable enough and worth picking up. Or it might be that something that was in a lower tier needs to be upgraded. So let's say gem cutter prisms, for example. We don't know what they're going to cost. They could be like 3 to 4 chaos each, in which case they're going to be this purple tier. If they're just at a chaos of value, they're going to be in this yellow tier here. I think that's it for the video. Feel free to leave any questions. Thank you very much for watching. Take care and see you in the next one.